Well, for us, we're kind of used to it, meaning we're always going to try and, we want a versatile secondary, so we'll try guys at different positions. We haven't changed from the standpoint when we first got here. You know what I mean? We're gonna we want to see who can play the different spots, and we're going to do that in practice anyways. Obviously, we're thin a little bit with the limited reps that we're giving some certain guys, and but for the most part, guys are doing a really good job. I mean, it's not the numbers that we want, but they've been able to manage it, and we're doing a good job of monitoring it, and we've had some success with it.
Let's go to Adam.
With the guys that are out, all the things that you would be doing in spring practice, what are those things you now have to cram into fall camp to get them ready for the game?
Well, again, for a lot of these guys, some of the guys that are not getting multiple reps, okay, in the physicality part, where they've really benefited from is again, 1 year into this thing. Now we're on our second year. The gains that we're making, how we're growing as a defense, has been tremendous. Meaning in the classroom, okay, they're out there coaching, every single play, okay. So they're growing and they understand our scheme a lot better, and so we're making major gains in that. They understand, what the scheme is like now, and then being able to challenge them, whether it's on the field, okay, from a standpoint, whether it's the limited amount of reps, where it's a walkthrough or low tempo, you know what I mean? What do you have here? What's your job here? What are you looking for in this situation? Okay, that's been outstanding, and it starts with Trey Flowers and Jalen McCullough. The leadership that they're getting, okay, as a collective group has been outstanding. They have taken their level of leadership to another step, and we've been really excited about that, and taking a lot more ownership in every detail that we do, whether we're in the classroom, whether it's a walkthrough, or whether we're actually doing it in the practices.
Ben, Brent, and Austin.
Willie, just with the low numbers, were you able to maybe spend some more one-on-one time with Desmond, and just how big of a string was this an opportunity for him, and how do you think he's handled it?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the guys, but everybody that's taken the reps, we call them valuable reps, man. They're expensive. I mean, if you're going to take a rep here, we're counting on it. We trust you. Doesn't really matter if it's Dez or it's Will Wright, who's really having a good camp here. So it's there's the individual parts always every day with each and every one of those guys, and he's a new player that's coming in and trying to learn it, just like the guys that when we first got here, they got to go through that process. He's done a good job with that. Again, we're doing a great job of leadership within the group, okay? And the first guys that come to mind, again, I'm going to say it's Trey Flowers and Jalen, where they're actually on hand coaching every single play when they're not in there. So that's been the biggest growth that we've made as a defense, and especially in the back end, where, they're holding each other accountable, which is really neat to see.
Right.
Coach, you mentioned leadership a couple different times. Has that been natural, or is that a conversation you had with Trey and Jalen that, hey, with Theo gone, who's kind of your alpha male, you guys have to now? Is that something you've really preached to them, or did that kind of come organically?
I think it came out organically from Trey. Trey had an opportunity to leave. He wanted to come back. He wanted to grow. He wanted to be a better pro. And we say within our building, if you want to be a great pro, man, you got to practice being a pro. And he's taken those steps. He's asked, how can I get better? What areas can I get better at? So it's really more organic. It's more passionate. It's something that he wants to. He's got the bad case of want to right now. And it's happening with Jalen also. It's happening with all the guys, and obviously the older guys. I haven't mentioned Burrell, the outstanding work he's doing off the field, along with being on the field. You know what I mean? It's been really impressive. And again, that's how it's going to help us get through the summer, okay, and being ready for the fall. I've been at places, including here. There's a guy by the name of Brian Randolph that was a really good player for us here, okay? We couldn't hit him. We were just going to go ahead and do all the things we can do, okay? But not let him go live in scrimmages, okay, because of the injuries he had in the past. And we wanted to give him, a shot to actually play through a season, And if you guys remember, guys that have been here, you know, he was able to do that those last couple of years he played, kept them fresh. So if you're smart, you know, I mean, you're passionate about all the small details each and every day, you know, you could be prepared, especially the guys that have the starts that they have, you know what I mean? That some of those older guys have.
Austin, and then Wes.
Coach, when you look at Christian Charles, I know he's working some corner for you this spring. Kind of where do you envision him when you have a fully healthy secondary come fall camp? And, you know, what are the differences you can see in his game between, let's say, last August and right now?
He's grown in understanding. You know, he's someone that played a lot more offense in high school than defense. And he has grown so much in our knowledge of the game from that side of the ball. You know, one thing about Christian's high energy. He's a physical player. He can run. He's smart. He's got so much passion to be really good. So he literally can play all of them on the back end. He can play any position. You know, and those are the guys that we want to be able to continue to recruit, that are very athletic, very versatile. And he's done a really nice job of picking up the new positions, you know what I mean? And so I think a lot of it has to do with, I'm going to go back to the guys that have been very impactful in our room. And it's going to be Flowers, it's going to be McCullough, it's going to be Burrell, you know, the small details that are being said to him. You got somebody who's got passion, somebody who's athletic, somebody that really has the want to. He's going to succeed. You know, he's done a really nice job here of 13 practices of being locked in, focused. You know, obviously it's taking those training wheels off, you know what I mean, from the standpoint, hey, you're going to try another new position. He's done a great job. He's really taken it and run with it, and he's been very productive for us.
Wes.
All those guys who are hurt right now, what can they get out of spring? I mean, I know they're kind of out there watching, and I assume they're in meetings. What can they do throughout spring to try to improve and make the most of it?
Well, they've been, you know, the guys that haven't had that many reps, again, not talking specifically, there's the mental part, there's also the physical part, you know, whether they're rehabbing, whether they're taking less reps. I mean, again, the approach has been everything matters. Every small detail matters, okay? How you come into a meeting, how prepared are you? Are you holding yourself accountable first is about being a really good teammate? Are you taking care of business? Because those are the things, again, guys that have experience that aren't having that many reps, you know, they've seen this, you know, they've been through the process, they have an idea, and they've matured enough to understand that everything that they do, whether, again, in the weight room and whatever that might be, or on the walkthroughs, or they're staying in there, they're coaching every rep. Okay, we've challenged the players that even if they're not, even the ones that are not, that are rehabbing, okay, guys that are just finished off a rack of 4 plays, over here, you're actually looking at the position that you just left from, okay? And I'm gonna hold them accountable, you know, of watching it and finding out the good and the bad so they can talk about it, okay? Because you can learn from the ones that, learn from the reps that you didn't even take, but you can visually see it.
Take 3 more, Vince, Patrick, and Eric.
Well, there are 2 things. One, it looked like Tamarian McDonald flashed in the scrimmage. Can you describe his development and how he's improved?
Okay, another one who's versatile, and we've moved around a little bit. He has grown so much from a year ago. He made some strides in the special teams, okay, and that's really where it's taken off. You know, now he's got a lot more confident, knows the scheme a little bit better. He's become a versatile player for us. You know, we feel comfortable in him playing 3 positions, and that's what you need in the secondary, where you can actually move guys around, and you're not just playing the backup, you're playing the next best guy, the guy that's prepared the most, you know. And we've really gained a lot of confidence in T-Mac, as we call him, you know, and he's really done a nice job.
Can you share your working relationship with Tim Banks and how in sync you guys are to teach your players and be on the same page in their development?
You know, I mean, I've known Tim for a long time, and I know who he is. He knows who I am. You know, we've kind of like every job we've taken. You know, if you look at the track record, you know what I mean. We've worked for some really good people. You know what I mean, and it's very same kind of relationships. We know who we've worked with. We know we're very similar in our styles. You know, it matters. It matters. I think it matters across the board in our profession. You know, you're you're going to, really take on the guys that you really respect as a man. He's a great husband. Obviously, I've known him as a player, and the details that he was as a player, again, you can see it now as the defensive coordinator and being a leader of a defense that doesn't make anybody more prouder than I do. That fires me up to see how his career's taken off, and it's great to be around it.
Willie, you mentioned a couple of guys that they're able to play multiple positions. You've got some veterans. How much right now are you thinking about how you and the staff are going to piece all of it together once you get to the fall, or is the spring more just about focusing on getting these guys better, or are you still thinking big picture in terms of how everything might fit together with all the some of the versatile guys you have?
Say that again. I'm sure.
If you got guys that can play multiple positions,
Mm-hmm.
and how much are you thinking right now of how you're going to piece who plays here, who plays there, how the rotation maybe? How much are you thinking about that right now, or is it in the spring you're thinking about just individual improvement and things like that?
No, I mean, again, we're going to play the best. If there's 5 guys on the field, we're going to play the best 5. The guys that are the most versatile, okay, understand the scheme the best, and have been productive, they're going to be the first 5 guys going out there. That's how we like to roll it out. And we're feeling good about a certain guys that can do that, so it doesn't become somebody who's backing up at corner, okay, that really is not the same player as the guy that might be multiple inside at the star and the 2 safety positions. Play him. He's been the most productive. Our guys know that the best are going to play first, the guys that have proven it. And again, the more that are having success, the better it is for us. I mean, we literally could not line up last year, in certain situations, that we won in the games because we didn't have enough DBs healthy enough, or didn't feel comfortable and trust them at that point. But now we're kind of building. The more we have, the better it's going to be for us, where we can be a little bit more flexible, play more guys. We've got to play more guys. We're playing a lot of snaps on defense, right? So we've said it along, the whole time. We'd rather have, 10 guys. 8 to 10 guys rotation. I mean, that'd be great for us in the back end, just like offenses do, where they're moving in and out, just like defensive linemen are, substituting, on our side. We got to do the same thing on the back end. So the more guys that we trust and guys that have really produced now and then throughout the summer and then through camp, more beneficial for us.
Last question.
Another guy that's a little bit banged up right now, but started with you guys over a corner, Danico Slaughter. What have you seen from him in his progression, from this time last year?
Again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but I think his knowledge of our scheme, he's one of those guys that can play all 5 of them, and he's growing, more involved, more vocal in meetings, more involved and vocal out in the field. I think Coach Hype has said it. I know I've heard it from other coaches. We sit around and we talk about it all the time. A year later, it went from us coaching all the guys on the field to the sideline, okay, to now where you can't even get a word in. Once they leave their reps on the field, they go to the sideline. You want to make some corrections. We've got players already hitting it. I said earlier about watching your position and coaching your position, even when you're out and you just went through there. That's what's really neat. That's what's really cool. And Nico's the same dude, that these other guys are, that, they're still involved and stay engaged in everybody. It matters to them. It's really cool to see.